We bought a C63 AMG 507 edition.
But it has a few issues. So, we got the C63 about 3 weeks ago, completely sight unseen. But before we get into that, we need to give it a really good wash. Okay, so let's get into the background of this car. The AMG was originally from Melbourne, Australia, where it was put up on a salvage auction website we use here in Australia, known as Pickles. As we are based in Perth, Australia, we had to consider the costs of transport and fees as they can get super expensive. Now of course we knew going for this car was a very big shot in the dark. However, on the day of the auction, the car somehow went for a price we were not expecting at all. So we knew that we could not miss out on this opportunity. Because of this amazing win, we thought why not film it and show people our journey. This will be our first build, and we hope that there will be many more to come, and we're very excited to learn and develop our skills.
Actually, this isn't our first build. About a year ago, we bought a 2016 Nissan 370Z. It had front end, rear end, and side damage, as well as a few airbags that went off, including the curtain and the seat airbags. The radiator support and the fan was damaged, as well as the radiator itself, so we had to strip the car back to its engine and rebuild it. We bought a donor car to assist us, which was the best decision that we've made so far. This saved us a huge amount of money and got the car to where it is today. We did this car as our first ever project with the help of my dad, who has done this many times before and will continue to give us guidance within future builds.
Now back to the 507.
So what makes this car so special? Well, it's a 507 edition C63 AMG. So 507, the name, comes from the fact that it has 507 horsepower. Here we have the Black Series bonnet, straight from a Black Series. That's like the main point of the car, which if you see this bonnet, you know it's a 507. So we got the upgraded brake calipers here as well. Very big brakes, 6-pot. It's got the red caliper as well, which is what all the performance pack C63s had on them. Now, actually with these rims, these are only a 507 style rim. The real rims are actually not here. These are just fake rep ones. As you can see, the AMG badge there isn't actually there. It's just like a cutout. So these unfortunately are not real 507 rims. We don't know where they've gone, but they're obviously not on the car. So the LSD was always an option on all of the C63s, apart from the Black Series. So on this 507, it does not have an LSD, unfortunately. That person who owned this didn't option that on. Code 471 is the LSD, and this car does not have that. The interior is also different. We got some piano black trim in here, and obviously on the dash, 507, edition 507 on the dash. Really nice interior, to be honest. We also got an Alcantara shift cover right there, and an Alcantara steering wheel here. This one's been really worn down to the point this is barely Alcantara anymore, so we're definitely gonna have to get that changed in the future. So this engine is basically the performance version of the normal C63 engine. As you can see, we got a bit of a darker intake manifold to the normal ones. It's usually a much lighter color. We got the plastic rocket covers, which was actually not exclusive to the 507. That was also on any of the post-facelift models. So this car has forged internals on this engine. This is what all the 507s had, and the P31 package AMG C63s. So they have forged rods and a lightweight crank. This is also the update model engine, so they fixed the infamous head bolt issue that the pre-facelifts used to have, which is where the head bolts would pretty much corrode and then snap, and that would cause a lot of issues. This would create a head gasket failure, which would allow water into the combustion chamber, which could cause catastrophic damage. Now let's get into a few issues with the car. As you can see, it won't start.
The seats don't work either. As you can see, they do a pirouette. Followed by the seats, we also have the sunroof. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, not too great, is it?
No. So I can hear what you guys are saying. The first thing obviously would be to check the battery, but as you can see on this multimeter, when I tap the two terminals together, it shows us 12 volts. So which obviously means that the battery is in good condition, and it's not that, so now we have to go and diagnose all the other electrical issues.
So now, underneath the car, the entire under tray, as you can see, has been removed by someone, so there's been some investigation done. We think that the rocket cover gasket is leaking because, as you can see, there's oil dripping all the way down from the rocket covers. That's a common issue on this car sometimes, so that's fine, that's an easy fix.
So from the oil pan back, we can see that the underbody is very clean and in prime condition. Starting here with these welds, we can see that there's a massive straight pipe, which removes the secondary cats as well as the resonators. The good news is the owners left the mufflers on the back here so that it can remove any bad frequencies and gets it a good roary tone. Unfortunately, we've found a little bit of damage on the air coolers of the diff as well. And the diff is also an open diff, which is very unfortunate.
Now onto what we believe is the main issue with this car, and that is unfortunately the 7-speed MCT transmission that this car has. Now on the report on Pickles Auctions, it stated a lot of things actually, but one of the things it did specifically state was that this thing had transmission damage, mechanical or electrical. Now, we don't know what's wrong with this transmission. You can put it in gear, but the car itself doesn't know what gear it's in, but the gear selector does work. Since we can't start this car, we don't really know what's wrong with the transmission. In fact, with the Autel tool, as you can see here, we can't even communicate with the transmission control unit. So, the transmission control unit could be completely fried, we don't know, or it could be the whole transmission. While we're here, Chris, let's test the voltage of this plug under here. I believe this is the plug, like the electrical component of the transmission, I believe. So let's test the voltage of this plug. And we are getting no reading. Actually, probably should put the ignition on first. Don't forget to turn your ignition on, guys, otherwise you're definitely not getting a reading. So here, this is the main connector to the transmission, the electrical connector. And as you can see, we actually are getting a solid voltage to the transmission. So clearly the issue is something actually in the transmission that's gone right back up to about 11, which is about what the battery has.
Yeah, probably the TCU.
Yeah, honestly, that's what I'm thinking at this point.
Yeah.
So this car's had a bit of a weird life. One of the first things we sort of noticed is that this bumper has been repainted recently. We have reason to believe it's been pretty recent, and the bumper has actually never had a license plate on it. As you can see, that's brand new paint and never had any rivets or anything like that. We believe it's had some sort of prior shunt. There's a bit of overspray at the front here. Honestly, the paint job's pretty bad. There's, as you can see, bits of paint in there. Back here in the vent, that should be black in there, but it's white. Honestly, not the best job. Not really how a 507 should be treated. Now, in the engine bay, someone's actually taken off the cover to get to the ECU under here. So someone's been fiddling with this thing. We don't know exactly what they've done. Nothing seems out of place, but someone's had a good look at this thing.
For this next bit, we need to take the driver's seat out to access quite a common issue that these cars can have, which is water leaking into the driver's side wire area, which can cause a ton of issues due to the wires corroding. In this instance, you can see that we are checking the CAN bus wire, which is the blue to blue white wire, as it controls a lot of the car's different systems. Along with this issue, there's also a driver theft protection system that comes on every time we try and turn the car on. This usually has to do with the wires as well, which is another reason we're checking it. It blocks everything, meaning the car also can't read any of the info, and sometimes even its own VIN. So guys, we just went ahead and checked the driver's side wiring area, specifically for the CAN bus wiring terminal that relates to the transmission. We checked underneath, lifted all the mats, everything like that. There doesn't seem to be any like corrosion or anything, because historically the 204s have a leak that goes into the sunroof and then runs down the door and ends up in the little like under compartment of the car. So now I guess it's time probably to do a bit more research, considering there's nothing there that would warrant the car not to start or not pick up any of the codes. Okay, so we spoke to a Mercedes electronics specialist, and he's told us to check the passenger side CAN bus terminal, as when we do the diagnostic scans, it tells us there's a lot of different errors that relate to the CAN bus wire and not the transmission, but hopefully it is that, because we've got ourselves a real winner. So guys, we've just popped off the seat with all the panels and stuff just to get down here and have a look at this little terminal here. As you can see, it's completely bone dry down here. There's no sign of water ever being in here, just like it was at factory. The main point obviously was the CAN bus terminal, which is that right there. As you can probably see on the actual terminal itself, it looks like it did just the day it came out on the factory. There's no signs of corrosion, like when you get that white powder, there's no signs of the burn marks or anything brown. So we're really not sure what to do now, guys. If you guys could drop a comment and just give us some info, any help would be much appreciated, because we're pretty stuck with what to do right now. So guys, I think we'll leave it there for episode 1. Both sides of the wires, as you guys saw, they both check out. There's no moisture anywhere, there's no corrosion anywhere. So we're really stumped with what to do. Unfortunately, I think we did buy a lemon. Any help in the comments would be appreciated, as we're really stuck with what to do. If you guys have any suggestions that you'd like us to try, or possible ways of solving this issue, we would really appreciate it.
Thanks for watching, guys. Any support would be greatly appreciated. Like and subscribe, all that stuff. And let us know how to make the videos better. This is our first video ever, and it's been a lot of fun to make it. So I hope you guys stick around for the ride, and yeah, see you next time.